This is a good news for you guys. Oh my God, I love this program. And at the same time, you can bring with you your family, your husband, your wife, your children. Your children can study here in Canada from kindergarten to grade 12. I'm going to give you 5 important things you have to know before you apply this type of jobs here in Canada. Hey guys, how is everyone out there? My name is Buyucan. I live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And you stay with me until the end of this video is because I am going to give you 5 important things you have to know before you apply for the Home Child Care Pilot Program or Home Support Pilot Program under the old pathway of caregiver and nanny jobs here in Canada. Okay, so I want to share this because you need to know. Okay, you cannot just, if someone tell you to, okay, I'm going to help you to come here in Canada, and you're just excited. Okay, you know, you need to know what are the requirements, because this is the new pilot program here in Canada, and this is most important. You have to know before you submit your application. Otherwise, if it is incomplete, they will send you back your application. Okay, so anyway, disclaimer, I'm not an immigration consultant. I don't belong to any agencies here in Canada, and I don't give any jobs to anyone. Okay, so what I am sharing is based on my own experience, what I know, what I research, and what I talk to people who just arrived here in Canada related to this home child care pilot program. Okay guys, especially those open work permit. Oh my goodness, so you stay with me guys. Okay, oh my God, I'm just excited. It's because when I talked to one of my friend here in Calgary, her sister just arrived here in Calgary to this type of program. I know people out there, aspirant immigrants who wants to come here in Canada, they still have these questions like they are not even sure. Okay, so for me, I am very sure to this program because they share it to me, their own experience. Okay, so that is why I just want to share it with you. Okay, so 5 things you have to know before you apply to this program here in Canada. First, you need to be college graduate. Second, you need to be at least 2 years college graduate diploma, or if you are undergraduate, you are at least in 3rd year university or in college. Okay, number 3, you need to submit your credentials here in Canada for them to assess the level of your education. If you are graduate in 4 years course, you need to submit your credential assessment or transcript of record to here in Canada under WES, WES. Okay, if you are 2nd year college diploma undergraduate, you submit your transcript of record or your credentials here in Canada for them to assess. Submit to ICES or ICAS. I don't know how you pronounce, but that's how it's supposed to be. Okay, 4 years course, submit to WES. Number 4 is you need to pass your English examination test, your IELTS, International English Language Test, and the passing score is 5. Okay, so in your country, you need to do your own research where you're supposed to do some review, or you can do online the review how you pass that English examination, and the passing score is 5. Okay, so it's not bad. It's 5 score is okay. Complete all that requirements. That's a major requirements. Then you have to find an employer here in Canada, or if you have a prospect employer, your cousin, your relatives or friends, if they are qualified to hire people to bring here in Canada, because they base on their income anyway. If they are low income, doesn't matter. You have sister, brother, uncle, aunties, cousins here in Canada. If their income is not past, because there is a certain income for them to be qualified to hire from overseas. Okay, so that's why if you cannot find an employer, you need to use agencies who can find employer for you, and of course you need to pay them for them to find employer for you, you know. Or you can do it yourself. You go to the Canada website, canada.ca, go to Canada Job Banks here in Canada. Okay, so this is how it works. So people who are applying to this home child care pilot program here in Canada, when they arrive in, there is no timeline when your application will be approved. Okay, and this program is going to expire 2020 2024, I believe. Okay, so I'm just hoping the immigration is going to do some extension for this program. It's because this program just started 2019, and those applicants outside Canada, they just start to coming in this year, because of the pandemic, right? So we cannot blame the pandemic, but we are hoping that immigration will going to give some consideration, and they will just do some extension. It's because this is a good program for people out there who wants to come here in Canada and work as a caregiver. Okay, and the reason why I love this program is because you guys can bring with you your family with you. Your children is free tuition fees. If I'm talking said free tuition fees, is free tuition fee. Okay, from kindergarten to grade 12, there are free tuition fees, unless if you're going to bring your children to a private schools. Of course you need to pay, but in Canada you can bring your kids to public or in a Catholic schools, and they have no tuition fees. But of course we are paying something like me, I'm paying something for my kids for 1 year, $200 something for one each kids. I make a separate video about that. Okay, because some people are complaining, as said, Sarah, you mentioned about no tuition fees, but how come you are paying something in your school? So I'm paying for the lunch fee. Like, people are staying for my kids to take care of the kids for like while eating lunch. Otherwise, if you don't want to do that, then you can, if you have time, to go bring your kids with you for lunch, and then you don't have to pay anything. Okay, and yes, that's all. Otherwise there's no tuition fees. We are talking about tuition fees in back home. It's like thousands and thousands, right? Okay, but also here in Canada, if you're going to choose to put your kids in a private school, there you are going to pay thousands and thousands of Canadian dollar. About the open work permit here in Canada to this program, when you are the applicants, okay, you are the principal applicants, you come to Canada. Upon arrival to the port of your entry, the officer will give you an open work permit visa to come here in Canada. Okay, so mean to say you are open work permit under the Home Child Care Pilot Program. So mean to say it's not specified, it's not even written your employer in your permit. Okay, why I know this? It's because I know one of my friend told me, who just arrived here in Canada, their open visa is open work permit. Mean to say you have an open work permit here in Canada, but you are only allowed to work under the Home Child Care Pilot Program or Home Support Pilot Program. Let's say you're only allowed you are allowed to work different employers under this same program. Okay, so mean to say it is good, because if I compare when I arrived in Canada, yes, I work as a nanny, I work as a caregiver, but I am only allowed to this employer. Okay, I'm not allowed to work another employer unless if this employer release you, then you have to apply another work permit. Like, that's the old pathway for us. Okay, so the new pathway, you arrive to Canada, open work permit, you can work different employers, but under this category, Home Child Care Pilot Program or Home Support Pilot Program here in Canada. I mean to say you are going to take care elderly people with disabilities, you are going to take care children with disabilities, small children's with different employers, because your spouse, your dependent, your husband, your wife, the immigration give them an open work permit, and they work here in Canada. So they can work here in Canada any kind of jobs they want. So how does it works? You come to Canada, work 2 years. Okay, so in that 2 years, you are working under the Home Child Care Pilot Program or Home Support Pilot Program. So that's where you can get your work experience working as a nanny or caregiver here in Canada, because that's the requirements for you for them to approve for your permanent resident. You work full-time jobs, okay? For within that 2 years, you got all this experience, and that experience is the requirements for your permanent resident here in Canada, okay? So after 2 years working full-time, then that's the time you tell the immigration, okay, you have to prove all the evidence. You prove your tax assessment, your employment history, I'm sure. Then you submit to the immigration for your permanent resident. Okay. So yeah, it's so simple, but the requirements is a little bit you can do it, guys. Okay, it's a little bit hard. It's a little bit hard, especially those people like undergraduate or people who wish to come here in Canada. If they don't have these requirements, qualifications, of course they cannot come to Canada to this program unless especially those people like my co-Filipinos, okay, people who are in Saudi Arabia or in some other Asian countries who are working like nannies or caregiver in some other countries. If you are not qualified because of your education, my suggestions for you guys is you go home in our country, go home to Philippines and study at least 2 years course, okay? Try to complete all the requirements and then try to look for an employer here in Canada if you really want to apply to this job. But let me tell you this, there's no guaranteed, okay? Doesn't matter you apply this program. It's all the immigration who do all the decision, okay? If they let you come in or not, okay? It's not the agencies, it's not the immigration consultant, okay? So it's just, and this program too, they have quota, and that's only the thing I don't like, because there's a quota means to say 2,750, they only accept applicant every year. To all people out there, if you have agency or immigration consultant, let's say if they don't discuss to you, like if they don't explain it to you proper, it's because of money. You have to know now, because I already told you, okay? Because some agencies out there is because of money, they said, okay, I will process your applications, but they don't have to tell you, like, what, because there's a limit for this application. Let's say if you're applying this 2022, is already close to December, there's no guarantee you come to Canada by next year, okay? Because this program is already been full. Let's say this year of 2022 is already full, so you need to wait the next January to submit the application. So you cannot submit your applications if your requirements is incomplete, okay? Let's say your English exam you didn't finish, you didn't pass, and your credential assessment is not even assessed, but you have employer here in Canada. It doesn't matter you have your employer here in Canada. If the requirements is incomplete, you cannot submit by January. This program also have no age limit. Male, female can work, okay? If by chance those male applicants out there, if you have relatives, friends here in Canada, then you try to approach them. They can be your employer, okay? So why not? And there's no age limit. The lady who just arrived here last month is she's 55 years old. Sometimes it sounds so good to be true, but it is true. It is true. No age limit, guys, okay? Because some program here in Canada is very strict about the age, and you need to have a high score and like skills, like but this home child care pilot program is a little bit easier program, and it's a best program so far, I know. There's no timeline when is your application be approved. Just be patient and wait. And be very careful to those people scams, everywhere. Only in Canada, upon arrival in Canada, to the port of your entry is the one who give you the permit, open visa, open work permit visa, okay? You have your passport with you, a visa to enter Canada. But if you arrive to the port of your entry, that's the time the officer, the immigration, give you the permit here in Canada. The decision, what type of permit they will give it to you, okay? So the people out there who is scammers, they give you all the promises. They will give you a work permit. There's no work permit. The people, they cannot just give you a paper and give it to your country. Okay, this is your work permit in Canada and pay me thousands of dollars. There is no way like that. Anyway, good luck to every one of you guys, applicants out there. And I'll see you here in Canada whenever. Just to remind you guys, okay, I saw one scammers using my name again and doing comments, answering your comments, and with their Instagram, Telegram number. And it's not me, it's not me, it's not me, guys. Please stay away with that name, okay, please. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in Canada whenever, in Calgary. So take care, everyone. Bye. God bless.